All right, show me the money. NFL picks for week three are here on the podcast. We have video for the first time this season. We got a video willing guest with us here today. Joining me today, great friend of the podcast. His Bucks are 2-0. Charlie Borges is back with us. Charlie, how are you?
I'm doing well, Mike. How are you?
Doing pretty good. And interesting time to be a Bucks fan here. And I am a Bucks backer this year. I bet the over on our preseason win totals with Joe Dall'Isio, and 2-0 looks good to me so far.
What was the total, if you don't mind me asking?
9.5.
9.5. Okay, I can see it, but the only way that I can see them going over 9.5 is if they hit 10 on the dot. They're not going to do 11 or 12. I've seen a lot of people say that they're going to win 12 or maybe even 13 games. There's absolutely no way, shape, or form that's happening. So if they hit the over for you, Mike, and I hope they do as a fan, I hope they get at least 10.
Yeah, I think they're a high floor team, which is why I like that bet.
Yeah, right now, I'm honestly afraid for this Sunday. And I know that sounds like a crazy thing to say because they're playing the New York Jets, who
I,
got destroyed last week.
yeah,
But if you look at their team, Kalijah Kancey
yeah, just lost for the season.
just lost for the season. Torres Peck. They're
Yeah,
missing both of their starting tackles in Tristan Wirfs and Luke Gedeke.
yeah.
Those are two key pieces. And then they moved Graham Barton, their center from Duke, who was their first round pick from last year, to left tackle. He got smoked against the Texans. And then you have Charlie Heck and Michael Jordan, not the one that you're thinking of when I said that, the guy who was on the practice squad for a while,
Oh, which one do you think I was thinking of?
the Michael Jordan that won 6 NBA titles with the Chicago Bulls.
I thought you were going to say I thought you were thinking about Michael Jordan, the actor who plays Adonis Creed.
No, that's Michael B. Jordan.
He's still a Michael Jordan.
He is still a Michael Jordan. You are right. But I'm kind of nervous this Sunday for the Bucs against the Jets because they have really without Cansey, they need Vita Vea to step up, and he's always questionable. Death taxes and Vita Vea being questionable before a football game. And I love the guy, but he can just never stay healthy. Their wide receivers, Emeka Egbuka, he's stepped up big, and I did not expect him to be as good as he has been. But they're still out Chris Godwin and Jalen McMillan. But boy, howdy, do I love Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, let's talk about
He's the only reason they're 2-0 right now.
yeah, let's talk about Baker for a minute here because obviously like Monday night they have this game against a feisty Texans team. They're up 14-10. They got the half. They got 9 straight points in the fourth quarter. Then Baker basically pulls it out of the fire for them with that late touchdown drive. They win the game. So like takeaways from Monday night.
Todd Bowles doesn't have his guys prepared in any way, shape, or form. And as a Jets fan, you know that. I have never been a big fan of Todd Bowles. He's supposed to be a defensive genius, yet his secondary is always getting burned. Jamel Dean is still on the team. He's consistently getting penalties called on him or getting burned. His zone coverage, man coverage. Remember the Stephen A. Smith rant about Kwame Brown? He
Yep.
is a bona fide scrub. That's what I want to say about Jamel Dean. He took a pay cut to stay here. Todd Bowles, his defense, you know that they're going to stop the run unless you give up a touchdown for a chance to get the ball back, which I still think happened. That Nick Chubb touchdown run, I think they kind of let the gates open a little bit for them to have a guaranteed chance to have the ball back. But their secondary is just not there. It never has been, unless it's Antoine Winfield Jr. He's the only bright spot. So takeaways: Todd Bowles needs to be better. Um, Baker Mayfield, dog. The Browns must be kicking themselves seeing Nick Chubb run in a touchdown in the final 2 minutes of the game to put his team up, only to have Baker Mayfield have a game-winning touchdown drive in the same game when the Browns could have both of them still right now.
Yep.
It's just
That's life as a Browns fan.
it's one of the takeaways. I feel bad for Browns fans.
Yeah. Baker's definitely a DAWG dog.
Yes, he give him all the money in the world. As of right now, I would say he's an early MVP candidate.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's something like I want to talk about the Bucks as a whole because I feel like every year it feels like everybody's just waiting for the downfall. Like, oh, like this is the year that Tampa falls off. And like since Brady got there, they've won the NFC South pretty much every year aside from his first year. Like Baker's become a stable quarterback for them. They have a solid core. Like the reason I took the over preseason with Tampa was I feel like, the division stinks. I don't buy Atlanta. New Orleans and Carolina are rebuilding here. Like I think you can easily win the NFC South, and I feel like they going to be up there with the Eagles and the at best in the NFC North in the playoff time? No, but I think like they are a lock 4 seed, win a playoff game. Like they are a high floor team. I feel like they don't get enough respect in the league.
I would agree with that with the bad division.
Yeah,
The week one win against the Falcons. Normally, in the last couple of years, the Bucks have been on the other end of these close games, like one against the Falcons and the one against the Texans. The fact that they're 2-0 right now proves the old saying, good teams find a way to win.
yeah,
And maybe this is the year where the good team finds a way to win because they've always been a good team, but they haven't been able to just pull it out at the last second. The last 2 weeks have shown maybe they're starting to turn that corner, but not every week are you going to be able to do that. So, will they probably win the division? I hope so. I'm just still afraid about Atlanta and that head-to-head matchup if it ever comes back to it because they face each other again. That's like week
December.
18, 17, week 15. That I think that's a Thursday night game too.
You're correct.
That's going to be a massive game to probably decide the future of the NFC South for this season. And that's going to be a crucial one. And once again, health is going to be a massive factor in it. The only reason why I don't, there's two reasons why I don't give the Bucks as much credit as they should, even though I'm a fan and I want them to succeed. They can never stay healthy. And once again, Todd Bowles.
Yeah,
They, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, missing your two tackles, your number two wide receiver. I'm sorry, your 1A or 1B wide receiver because Godwin and Evans are interchangeable. McMillan's out. You just lost Kancey for the year, and it's week two. What's going to happen this week? Who are you going to lose because it's inevitable? So, something has to change with the training program, how they prep, how they work out. Something's got to change because they always seem to have injuries, and every team has injuries. I'm not saying that their injury report should have nobody on it. What I'm saying is when they have injuries, it's always to somebody that's important.
yeah. That's not good.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
And if it's week two and we're already worried about the offensive line and Baker Mayfield, who came up hobbled a few times after a couple tackles, even though he has that dog in him, bones are still breakable.
yep. Absolutely true here. And week 3 coming up. We got you talked about it earlier. The Jets are coming into town 0-2. They got their doors blown off by the Bills in week 2. They arguably should have won week 1. They didn't win. Justin Fields in concussion protocol. As of time of record, we don't know if he's going to play in this game. Well, Aaron Glenn said because he has to get on the practice field before Friday in order to play this game. So if he does not, Tyrod Taylor will be the guy starting this game here. So what are you looking for in this Jets Bucks matchup?
I completely forgot that Justin Fields was in concussion protocol because he did play on Sunday, this past Sunday against the Bills. And when did he go into protocol? Monday or Tuesday?
Or after the game Sunday, he banged his head
Okay.
on the turf like and then got evaluated when put protocol right then.
So that makes me feel a little bit better. But then Tyrod Taylor, one of those savvy veterans who's been around the league for what feels like 20, 25 years,
Yeah,
just one of those guys. I'm expecting the Bucks run defense to be pressured with Kancey being out. I think Brees Hall could have a day, day and a half. If Justin Fields does play, I think the Jets running attack is going to be the key if the Jets have any chance. I almost picked the Jets to cover. I still think the Bucs are going to win. I think the Bucs are a 6.5 favorite right now.
That's correct.
I think the Bucs are going to win. I was this close to picking the Jets to cover.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting spot for this game also because like the Bucs are the better team. The Bucs are finally at home and won their first two games on the road. So you figure here, okay, they're going to win the football game, barring something very flukish or, like, as you said, like more massive injuries. But like if the Jets are able to run the football, and Aaron Glenn loves to run, and you mentioned Kansas being a big loss to their run defense here, this could be a lot closer than people think it is.
I agree wholeheartedly. And if you establish the run game, you can definitely exploit the passing attack with a weak secondary that I said that I talked about before. So there's a good chance the Bucs could start the season 3-0, which would be fantastic. And then you have the Eagles the next week. So I'm hoping you go into the game against the Jets, you win, you stay healthy or healthy enough to where you can maybe get Gidecki and Wirfs back against the Eagles. Because if you don't,
That's a problem.
good night, Irene. September 28th at Raymond James Stadium could be a bloodbath. But then again, the Bucs have seemed to have the Eagles number over the last couple of years.
And the Eagles have not looked great early on. They've been vulnerable.
I would agree. As long as your star defensive tackle doesn't spit on somebody, that you should be fine. But you can't count on that these days, can
Or,
you?
or if Travis Kelce catches the football in the end zone, now have it into a defensive back's hand, that could have changed the whole game also.
I did see a meme the other day of the Jets, or not the Jets, the Giants fans being upset because they said that we always want the same record as the Kansas City Chiefs, but now that they're both 0-2,
They finally got it.
they finally got it and they're not happy about it.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be an interesting game this week. So let's get to the picks is the reason why you're here. My buddy Phil Lombardo, a Giant fan, was here last week. He went 2-1 the week. He laid the big one with the Ravens, laying the 12.5 points. They ran away from Joe Flacco early and hid. He had the Colts at 1.5 points, winning, covering the spread, but the outright upset thanks to that late leverage penalty against the Broncos gave Spencer Strayer the second shot at it. You have the Jags get plus a 3.5, end up losing that game despite knocking Burrow out. So 2-1 for Phil last week.
How about Daniel Jones and those Indianapolis Colts?
They're one of the big surprises of the season so far.
Who would have thought that Danny Dimes, somebody who I despise as a quarterback, just needed an offensive line to protect him, and they haven't punted in their two games.
Oh,
Am I right?
yep, and weapons too. He has more weapons than he ever have the Giants. Because usually only had one at a time, whether it was Saquon or Neighbors, never more than that.
Good for him. That's all I can say. Just prove the doubters wrong, and
Yeah, he might be that. He might be that next guy on that like this trend we have of like quarterback highly drafted quarterbacks going somewhere else or vitalizing the careers after Baker and Darnold and Geno and now him.
there is something about the Jets, Giants, and Browns, and once somebody leaves, they become just fantastic. And I don't know if it's talent evaluation, development.
I would lean development slash coaching and
I got nothing else to add there.
and
It just
and,
get
infrastructure
it together.
and infrastructure also because like a lot of these they're in a lot of bad situations. These guys being asked to do too much. All
And
right.
I'll thank you for picking the Bucks as well.
Yeah. I went 2-1 this week. I had my loss. I took the Chiefs again in the Super Bowl rematch. I could have won that game. They did not, so lost there. I bet your guys plus 2.5. Baker pulled it out of the fire for me, so it's got to win there. And I went heads up with Phil on that Bengal Jaguar game, and Jake Browning did just enough to cover the number for me. So 2-1 for me on the week.
That Joe Burrow injury is scary
The
for
crusher.
for the Bengals.
Yep.
They were my pick in the AFC North to finish. I had them finishing ahead of Baltimore.
That's not happening anymore.
No.
Yeah,
And people can look back and say that's a stupid pick, but context is key in that situation.
absolutely. So on the year so far, tight like fast start for both sides so far. Challenger 4-2. I'm 5-1. I went 3-0 in week one. So we'll see if we can keep the positive momentum going here. And Charlie, as the guest, you can go first. Where are you going with pick number one?
You know me, Mike. I am an underdog guy, but I don't understand why. I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. They are a 1.5 point dog against the Jacksonville Jaguars this weekend in Jacksonville. Houston is the best 0-2 team in the league. They
Kansas City.
said, see, I'm not used to Kansas City not having a win at this point of the year, so it's just one of those. It just you just lose all train of thought.
Although to be fair, if you
So
look at
okay,
the rest of the 0-2 outside Kansas City, Houston is way better than any of them.
fair. So okay, so they may be the second best 0-2 team in the National Football League are the Houston Texans with C.J. Stroud and Nick Chubb. The defense is scary, and Liam Cohen in Jacksonville. I'm not sold. Trevor Lawrence has done okay in the first 2 weeks, and they're 1-1. But the Houston Texans being a underdog on the road against the Jacksonville Jaguars, that just seems like an easy pick to me.
Yeah. I mean, you like the desperation factor there, and like the argument could easily made that Houston very capably could have won both games that they played so far because their defense has stepped up in both. And the offense has been an issue with CJ Stroud at the right running for his life half the game. But to me, like, this is a stay away because, like, I don't think that everything is right down there. I just got a feeling like I want to see it before I touch the Texans.
And that's more than fair. Also, they're missing a few key receivers,
Yep.
but they had a couple of guys step up against the Buccaneers, and they should have won that game. But once again, Baker Mayfield has that had that dog in him, and that's the only reason why the Texans are 0-2 and a dog on the road against Jacksonville.
All right, let's pick one. We're going to pick two.
I am also going to go with another dog. Let me see right here. The Dallas Cowboys are also a 1.5 point underdog at the Chicago Bears. The Micah Parsons trade changed the entire direction of where the Cowboys were going this season. They've surprised me in the first 2 weeks against the Giants and the Eagles. And once again, if Jalen Carter stays in that game, who knows? It could have been a blowout, or it could have been the same exact tight game that we saw. And they played a tight game against the Giants, but NFC South or NFC East games, they're all rivalry games. I throw all rosters out the window because rivalry games are very unpredictable. I just don't see it with Ben Johnson in Chicago right now because they got their doors blown off against the Detroit Lions last week. Give me the Cowboys, who surprised me on both sides of the ball, going up to Chicago as a dog.
Yeah, interesting pick there for sure. And like, I get all your logic here. Like, two things. Like, and by the way, it's the 425 Fox game, which is a dreadful decision by the NFL. So
Their scheduling just makes no sense sometimes.
Rams Eagles 1 o'clock. That's a much better game. I don't get it, but that's besides the point. But in terms of this game, two things would worry me. Like, number one, that the Cowboys defense let Russell Wilson turn back the clock 10 years last week, above 37 points. And the fact that they're underdogs this game, like, this is one of the fishy lines that Vegas has. We wonder, does Vegas know something that I don't? And that why it stayed stuck at 1.5 Chicago all week. So a little bit of caution. So I'm going to stay away, but I don't fault your logic.
The lines this year have been a little, not weird, a little wonky. I still think, and I understand why you're staying away from both of my picks because I like the gambles, if you will, but there's just something in Chicago that's just not sitting well with me in this current moment.
All right, so let's pick two. We're going to pick three.
I'm picking three dogs this week. Three
Okay.
underdogs. I am going to go with the Detroit Lions, who are a 4.5 point underdog against the Baltimore Ravens on Monday night in Baltimore. Dan Campbell lost both of his coordinators, one of them being Ben Johnson, and the other one being Aaron Glenn. Both of his coordinators left. Both of them are 0-2 at this point. I know Dan Campbell's 1-1. I think the first game against Green Bay, where it was a blowout, it was more of a let's see where we're at without these two coordinators that we've had the last couple of years. That was the feeling out game. Then it all came together against the Bears last week, and every single person was clicking on both sides of the ball. And I expect that to continue going into Baltimore this week. I love the Ravens and I love Lamar. Detroit's got to keep momentum going if they want to compete with the Packers in the NFC North this year with the addition of Micah Parsons. And to do that, you're going to have to win big games. This is a big game, so I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, we're heads up on this one. It's my first pick here. Is I'm going with the Ravens minus the 4.5 on Monday night here. So
Mm.
out here, big game at home. Lamar in Baltimore in prime time feels like almost unbeatable here. They put up a dominant effort against the Browns in week 2 to pick up the win here. And I don't know if you remember this. These two teams met 2 years ago in Baltimore when Dan Campbell had both his coordinators here. Lions lost that game 38-6. I'm not exactly confident they're going to make up that big a difference here. I think the Ravens win this game. It's much further from the 4.5 point spread than people think.
Yeah, but they could, if anybody is going to use that loss from 2 years ago, it's going to be Dan Campbell. So I can easily just see him having pictures of the box score all around the locker room and all around the facility. I just have a funny feeling about the Lions. And I'm probably going to be wrong because Lamar is just too dang good, but give me the Lions. And now this is one of those games where the pickers can get that one game back against you.
Yeah, we'll see here. So that's my first pick on the board. Pick number 2. I'm going to go to your local team there. I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers laying up
Oh boy.
in New England against the Patriots here. And I know they had a rough time against Seattle last week. I will say this. I think New England is highly overrated. I think they took advantage of a bad Dolphin team last week. That team is still very flawed. I see Aaron Rodgers like a kick Jalen Warren more involved in the passing. I think it's a good idea because New England has not a great job covering backs. I think there's a spot here where Pittsburgh's defense needs a get right spot. I think this is the right team to do it again. So I will lay the 1.5 with Pittsburgh.
Something funny is happening in Pittsburgh right now with Aaron Rodgers. Uh, Caleb Johnson is not returning kicks anymore. That's what Mike Tomlin said yesterday. And when asked who's returning kicks for him, I know kick returning isn't that important of a part of the game as it once was. When he's like, we'll figure it out. So they don't know who's returning kicks. Aaron Rodgers is either going to look like he is going to win the MVP, or he's going to look like I have no idea where this ball is going to go, but here you go. Their defense is the number one paid defense in the entire league, yet almost last in every statistical category in the first 2 weeks. Something weird's going on. And maybe it's starting to turn here with Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh. And I like New England. I had the Steelers going 8-9 this year, and on the road against New England, I just don't see it happening.
All right, that's pick 2. Pick 3. I'm going to go to the biggest game of the week, in my opinion, outside the one we already picked. I'm going to take the Rams getting 3.5 against the Eagles in Philly. I know it's the dreaded West Coast team flying east, playing the 10 a.m. body time game, but the Rams have done well in these spots, and no team in the playoffs last year gave Philly a tougher time than the Rams. I think this is the spot here, coming off that Super Bowl rematch, coming off the big win against Dallas. I feel like there might be, a little bit of like a exhale moment, and that's a spot where you have to hook the Rams who are in this game all the way to the end. I think I'm going to take the points with the Rams. I think they have a good shot to win this game outright.
When you asked me to make my picks, I had this game circled and I thought about taking the Rams. I had the same exact thinking as you. I have nothing to add. No notes. Good pick.
No notes indeed. So let's go ahead and reset the picks here for week number 3 on the podcast. It's a very fun week of picks here, and the games are not great. Uh wait, call. I had the wrong name on there. Sorry, Charlie, but I will terms of the spread here. So picks here: Cowboys plus 1.5, Texas plus 1.5, the Texas double, the Lions plus 4.5, Charlie's 3 underdogs. My picks: the Steelers laying the 1.5 in New England, the Rams plus 3.5 in that big game, and the Ravens minus 4.5. So those are your picks for week 3 here on the podcast. And I'm going to be doing next week. I'm going to have my buddy Will Smith, not the actor, not the baseball, any of the baseball players on. We're going to talk about his Cowboys and the Micah Parsons return game next week.
So that's the second time we've had to clarify somebody who's had a famous name,
Yeah,
Will Smith and Michael Jordan.
yeah. There's a lot more famous Will Smiths.
Yeah, there's the dot. Is he still catching for the Dodgers?
Still the catcher for the Dodgers. There was that pitcher for the reliever who like won like the World Series like 4 years in a row on 4 different teams.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's a lot more Will Smiths than Michael Jordans, but still, if your kid's named Will Smith or Michael Jordan, the chances are they're going to become famous.
Yeah, that's for sure. So that's coming up here, and the Micah Parsons revenge game here, and also I am still in the knockout pool. Are you doing a knockout pool this year, Charlie?
I am not. I was in 6 fantasy leagues,
That's a lot.
and I've been trying to dwindle the amount of investment I have in fantasy. So I dropped it down to 4, and then I was convinced to join a work league. So now I'm back to 5.
Yeah.
And I will say I was on went on a fishing trip this past weekend, and I was on the boat all day Sunday, and I had no service. And I'll tell you something, Mike, it was glorious. I couldn't because I knew that obviously the Buccaneers were playing on Monday night, so I didn't have to worry about my team. It was only just fantasy I had to worry about. Turned the phone off, went fishing. I went 1-4 this week, but it was still fine. It was still great. It was stress free.
Not sitting there
What's
going,
better than that?
not sitting there going, damn it, what's his what a big league last league. Like, damn it, I'm playing against Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is like going off.
Exactly. There was none of that. It was just me and the family on a fishing boat, catching fish. The only thing that we were frustrated by was the lack of fish. But even then, we caught a lot. It was fine. It was stress free. More people should do that.
Yeah, and the knockout pool is not always stress free. Like I did have an easy one last week. I had the Ravens, so they moved on here. I've used the Ravens in Denver the first 2 weeks. Going a little riskier this week in terms of team choice. I'm trying, but I like the spot here. Seattle is the knockout pick this week at home against the Saints.
That one of those times that somebody's going to pick against the Saints, where it should be an obvious win, it's not going to be. There's something special is going to be brewing in New Orleans. It's not yet, so I think you're safe this week.
Yeah,
They're gonna turn it around at some point. That community, that team has too much history to be a bottom dweller for much longer.
yeah. For me, I like the spot. I mean, New Orleans, they've been feisty at 2 home games. Now you're going on the road asking Spencer Rattler to go to Seattle, his first road game of the season, and beat the 12th man and that team. I don't think so.
I see your thinking, and now you can once you pick a team, you can only pick that you're done with that team in the knockout league. Is that correct?
That's correct. So I've already used Denver and the Ravens. So I'm trying to like one of the two easiest choices this week were Bills and Packers, I feel like. So I'm trying to save those. I already used one elite team.
So is the strategy to pick the underdogs in the beginning of the season and save the for sure wins in the later season, or flip it,
I
pick
think
the better teams in the beginning and then kind of dwindle it down to
it,
the middle of the pack towards the end of the season?
it can go both ways. I feel like at the start, I want the sure things. I want to get through that first and second week where you don't have much information. once you start getting more information, then you can say, okay, maybe I can save Buffalo or Green Bay and like try and pick a spot where I think, okay, this team is not losing this game, and then just kind of move on from there and have the Bills and Packers play, especially Buffalo, whose division stinks.
Maybe I'll join a knockout pool next year. That means that I'll have to drop out of one fantasy league.
Well, it's
I,
just a lot less time. All you have to do is make one pick a week, and okay, done. And then if you lose,
yeah, I don't want to be invested any more than I already am.
yeah, I would just trade a fantasy league for that. That's what I would do.
That's probably what I'm going to be thinking. But I'm having too much fun in the five that I'm in now.
Yeah, absolutely here. And Charlie, I know before you go, I know you're a Mets guy. Would you like to hear like a fun like the Twitter like argument I'm involved in right now?
Anything regarding the Mets and fun, sure. At this point in time, if it's actually fun, sure. Even if it's not fun, I'll take it because
Uh, my
at this point, sure.
my fun is pointing out stupidity on Mets Twitter.
Oh, there's a lot of it. You can throw a dart.
Well,
If you can throw a ball in the ocean, you'll hit stupidity.
yeah, and like I'm sure you've seen it's a decent subset of Mets Twitter that is considered the prospect huggers who got mad they traded away Drew Gilbert and was taking 215 for the Giants and like guys I've never heard of. One of these guys I'm in a feud with on like debating on Twitter about a point he made about our Mets new stud pitcher Noel McLean. So
Mhm.
are you like when the here's the post I'm sharing on the screen for you. You can see Mike Phillips on YouTube video here. Christopher Soto says here, Noel McLean has 12 and a third innings pitched left before he burns rookie eligibility for 2026. Apparently, you have to pitch less than 50 innings to be considered a rookie and be eligible for rookie of the year next year. He has two starts left to go in the season. Don't expect him to go longer than 6 innings pitch in either start. He's only one of the leading contenders for that prospect promotion incentive in 2026. Charlie, you familiar with the PPI thing?
Yeah, I am. Living in Pittsburgh, you kind of have to be
Oh yeah, that's right. You got also,
familiar
also
with yeah. You have to be kind of be familiar with PPI.
yeah, PPI, for those who are unfamiliar, you get an extra draft pick if you have a guy who wins Rookie of the Year. And like, there's an argument, okay, like the Mets are gonna like not have their picks knocked down because over the luxury tax. The extra pick could be fun. Here's the problem with this thinking here. As we're recording this, they're only a game and a half up on a playoff spot. Noel McLean has two more starts.
Correct.
I made this argument here. So this is me right after this. Hypothetically, Noel McLean goes 6 innings on Saturday against the Nationals. You say it's a reasonable scenario, right?
If I agree. Hold on. Let me read.
I'll walk through it for the audience too, because people can't see what we're seeing if they're not listening to the audio. So
Okay.
let's say Noel McLean goes 6 innings on Saturday and that's win the game. That sounds good to you?
That sounds great. Mets win in a playoff push.
Yeah.
Definitely needed.
Okay, so let's say they'll go next week, Thursday or Friday, either Chicago or Miami. His next start, he's thrown 70 pitches in 6 innings. The Mets are up 1-0, and they need to win this game to get in the playoffs. And basically, I said to Chris, you're telling me that you would take him out of the game to protect the remote possibility of getting an extra draft pick in 2027. And Christopher Soto says yes. What are we
That's that's dumb.
exactly? What are
You're you're in the middle of a playoff push and you have somebody who is putting up, and I'm not comparing the two.
in
I'm
five?
not I'm not comparing the two in any way, shape, or form. Nolan McLean has been putting up better numbers in his first six starts. Or has it been six or has it been more?
It's 5 or 6. It's right around there.
He has been putting up better numbers than Paul Skeens has in his first six or 5 or 6 starts than Skeens has or
Yeah.
did last year. And at this current point in time, Paul Skeens' ERA over his career starts with a 2. Nolan McLean has been doing better. When your team is in a playoff push, you play your best players. Nolan McLean has been the Mets' best player, sans Juan Soto, since he got called up.
Yeah.
That is stupidity that you are going to put this season on the line for a guy who is currently
In high school.
16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
That is stupid. And as of right now, correct me if I'm wrong, the Mets have a universally across the board
Oh,
good or top farm system.
beloved right now.
What are we doing here,
Yeah.
Soto? Not Juan Soto, the Christopher Soto.
Soto, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
No, no, get out of here.
Yeah.
If he doesn't win Rookie of the Year,
Because I said this also in a follow-up comment. I'm not gonna put it on the screen. Like, let's say hypothetically, like do this, miss the playoffs because of this for some reason. The bullpen comes in, blows the game, and you list the playoffs by game. You are hoping that Nolan McLean does not like have the league get the book on him, pitch like a 4 ERA next year. You hope he doesn't get hurt. Or, some other guy could come out here and just dominate and doesn't win the pick. And even if you do get the draft pick, this is a kid who I saw somebody else break down the math here. Be the 31st pick in the 2027 MLB draft. You have basically a 1 in 31 shot of finding Greg Maddux. And 25 times out of about 30 is basically the guy is an unusable player. And if that player is even useful, by the time he gets to the big leagues, it's 2030 and Juan Soto is 31 and Francisco Lindor is 35. What are we talking about?
even if McLean blows his rookie eligibility to not win Rookie of the Year, there are two other guys that I want to bring up to your attention there, Chris. Jonah Tong and Brandon. Is it Sprout or Sprout?
I think it's Sproat.
Sprout. Brandon Sprout.
Plus Carson Benj down the minors could be
Yep.
this year. Jet
I
Williams.
mean,
They have plenty of candidates. It's not had to be Nolan McLean.
you play to win the game, and Nolan McLean is playing to win the game. Play the kid. I don't care about your current 16-year-old that you may or may not want to draft from 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Play your best players. And
Yuri.
Nolan McLean is doing that.
That's why I said in a separate group chat off the air, some of my friends here said, I hope that McLean throws a complete game shutout on Saturday and makes Chris have to score him on his next.
At this point in time, I just hope the Mets, they have 11 games left by my count.
Correct.
7-5, 7-4.
Yep.
Go 7-4.
I said
You have to win your series against the Marlins and the Nationals.
I think it's the math is simple. I think you win every series you're in the playoffs.
Win and you're in. Just win.
And hope,
You control your destiny at this current moment.
yeah, not PPI. We're trying to make the playoffs because this is the year you get in. Who knows what happens?
I will say though, those Miami Marlin games at the end of the season
Oof.
are bringing up violent flashbacks, and I'm talking about
Agita.
like water bottle being thrown against the wall, violent flashbacks to Tom Glavine in 2006 and 2007.
Yeah, those are not pretty. Yeah, right now Nolan McLean is scheduled to pitch in that series.
Oh. Oh no. All right. Okay. All right. I'm not trying to relive 2006 and 2007.
Yeah,
As long as they don't start a left-handed pitcher who is past his prime,
yeah, I would
then
agree.
we're fine.
Yeah, I think we're okay with that. Charlie, thanks for all the time. Really appreciate it. People want to follow you on social media.
You can follow me on Twitter, and I always have to do this. I changed my Twitter handle a while ago. It's just at Charlie Borges Jr.
Yep.
If you follow me on Twitter there, I still write for Pucks and Pitchforks, the Devils website, and it's training camp reporting day, so it's not only towards the end of baseball season, the football season starting up. The hockey is right here. It's right here.
It's
So
it sneaks up on you.
it does. You blink, it's June 26th. You're watching a dreadful NHL first round draft. You blink, Luke Hughes doesn't sign, and now it's media day. So just one of those things.